beef tips and topics. And tonight was supposed to be a debate, WWE versus AEW. But a fellow content creator named Zay, a little bit under the weather. I think he's a little sick in his stomach, was a little nervous to face me, but we'll give him a little more time. Maybe he can build up the courage to go one on one with the OTC. But we switched it up. So tonight we're going Wrestlemania. Is it lackluster this year or is it not? With predictions. And wait a minute, this is not a prediction. This is a spoiler. And with guest with me right now is my man D Dub. Welcome in, Dub.
Somebody.
So we're gonna get this thing started, guys. We're gonna talk about WrestleMania. We're gonna talk predictions. We're gonna talk some things. I might even throw in some how I would book it, how I would like to see it go, and how it may go. And Dub can do the same thing whenever he wants. So let's just get it started, man. If you're ready, I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I said, "Are you ready?"
I'm ready to rumble.
All right. So I'm just gonna start out. We're gonna start out with a bang. We're gonna start out with the three-way. CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Franklin Rollins with Paul Heyman supposedly in CM Punk's corner, but is he really? We will see. So you want to take this one first?
Um, I can. I really think I think he's gonna split up. I think they're gonna split up. You know what I mean? Just so many swerves and curves, you know what I mean? They've been throwing us here lately. And I love doing this too, like guessing what's going to happen. You know what I mean? And throwing
Right. That's the fun part.
that's the fun part, man. But yeah, I can see that happening. Like I said, I can even see him going with Rollins. You
Yeah,
know,
I think so too. I don't want that to happen. Because
yeah,
here's the thing, and I want Punk to win. Deep down, I do.
yeah,
But I think what they're wanting to do, they're gonna put Seth over. He's gonna join the Rock and them with Heyman. And if you bring Heyman in, then you could get away with the Rock not always being there because Heyman could be running things.
right.
And this will be a new version of the Dangerous Alliance. And I think there'll be another member, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah, I think so too. Like you said, I can see, man, uh, Paul Heyman being that guy. You know what I mean, to do that because you know, like you said, Rock hasn't been there 4 weeks, right? Has it been
Yeah.
like 4 weeks, something like that,
Yeah, well, since the pay-per-view.
since the pay per view? So we haven't seen him at all. But I know he's going to be there. You know what I mean? When it comes time for this, you know he's going to be there.
Right.
It's got to make sense, or he's got to make they got to make it make sense, or there's going to be a lot of mad fans.
Yeah. They do. And here's the thing, I don't know if you caught my wrestling rant with Seth Rollins. If you didn't, go check it out. It's about 5 minutes long, but it's really good. But I think, and this is what I put in that video, I think they're to the point that they like Seth. They want Seth to be over. I think they've always wanted Seth to be one of the guys, one of the top guys, but he's just never gotten over like that.
Right.
They put him with factions, they put him in groups, and he still never really got over. He never really, I don't think he'd be over now if it wasn't for the damn whoa, whoa, whoa in his damn song. Because that's all people sing along with. Other than that, they really don't care about him.
I mean,
I mean, some people might like his ring work, but all the other Billy Phil, they shut the hell up.
I mean, I like some. There's some attributes of I like about Seth. You know what I'm saying? He does bring some good cards to the table. You know what I mean? Uh, but as far as like how many times has he held the title? He's held
Quite a
the
few.
few times they gave it
Yeah,
to him,
yeah.
and I don't think he's had like a big wow run with it. You know what I'm saying?
No, he hadn't.
That. And he always ends up.
His runs as champion could be compared to Gunther's, and some may think Gunther's is better.
I think Gunther's is better, actually.
You see what I'm saying? And,
Yeah.
and, and I'm not trying to deter people. If you like
Yeah.
Seth Rollins, that's fine. And I said it in my other video. I'm not saying he can't be a top guy. He's
Right.
just not the guy.
Right.
He's not The Rock.
Right.
He's not Cena. He's not Roman. Hell, he's not even Cody.
No. No. Lord
You
no.
know?
Uh,
And
you gotta be able to talk. You gotta be and like you said, anybody that's got like a good catchy tune or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Seems like
yeah,
the
as long as you got woe in your song, you're good.
Yeah, it seems like the fans go for that. You know what I'm saying? And that is part of being a fan too. You want to be involved. You know what I'm saying? Like Chris
Right.
Jericho and when him coming out singing the Fozzy song. You know what I'm saying? That's what you want. You want that fan on interaction. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, granted, yes. But when that's all you have,
Right.
I mean that's all Jericho's got now. That's they they sung Edge's song in AEW without the music playing, but then after that, they didn't care.
Right.
They were quiet as church mouses the whole night. You thought you was watching a New Japan match where nobody could say nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying. But
Yeah.
so you got Seth winning?
I think so. I think
Okay.
so.
I mean, I think a lot of people want Punk, and a lot of people think Roman is going to go over, which, in all honesty, Roman probably does need to go over because he hasn't had a great year since losing the title at Mania.
No. No.
you know,
I mean, what's they won what War Games? Um, and has he
I
really?
mean, he won that and he won the Uba Fala match or whatever, but other than that, what did he really do?
Yeah, I mean, two matches since then. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like how his run with the championship belt. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
Yeah,
he didn't fight very much. You know what I mean? But he was over enough to where he could talk. You know what I'm saying? And still
right.
over. But yeah, he's had a bad, bad, bad setback since he
But
lost.
he's still, but see, the point there too is he is still an attraction.
That
People still want to see it.
Yes,
You
that's
know?
me and Fed were talking about last night. Me and him were talking, and I said, that's a big difference in like AEW and WWE. WWE has so many fallback guys that if something was to happen, like a Cody Rhodes was get hurt, God forbid, I'm not saying anything like that happens, or something was to happen, they got you Braun Breaker. You know what I'm saying? Easily could throw in that slot at any time. Roman Reigns,
Right.
CM Punk. You could
Drew
go,
McIntyre.
yeah, Drew McIntyre. Even if you had to put it on Seth, you know what I'm saying? You got
Or
Seth.
even Damian Priest, even though I don't think
Yeah.
he was a great champion. But
Um,
we'll get to him later.
yeah, and they got that. That's what I'm saying. When you get that top tier talent, you know, that's what makes you start getting recognized more than others.
Uh-oh. You froze up, Dub. Chris Dearman in here, he said Roman the Shield. We know better than that. We know he was one, Rollins was two, and we don't even count the third.
The big dog.
All right, get off of that. We could come back in that a little bit, but there's a lot of predictions. People got this person going here, doing that, so we'll see what all happens with that. Let's go to another. This is a championship match for the women's title. One of the women's title. There's a lot of them. Uh, Stratton versus the Queen, Charlotte Flair. Ooh. Now I don't know what all went on with them when they started having this shoot or whatever, and kind of went off script. But and I'm not trying to defend Charlotte, even though I am a big Charlotte component. Uh, Tiffany, you ain't been in the game long enough to come at Charlotte in a certain way, unless she got off track to begin with. But I think a lot that messed Charlotte up when all that happened was the fans were giving her the Dominic treatment and wouldn't let her speak, and it was really getting to her. That's
Yeah.
what I think happened, and they kind of just got a little cross with each other. Now I think it could make for a better match, maybe. Maybe they're a little laying it in a little bit more. But I still got Charlotte going over. Charlotte needs the title. Tiffy can get it back anytime. I mean, she could get it back at Backlash or whatever. That's fine. But Charlotte worked so hard just getting back. Give it to her. Let her get another title belt under, and then you can do whatever.
Um, I hate to say this one though, man, but I think it's going to go the other way. I think they're going.
Is that why you're not saying it?
Yeah, I think they're going to leave it on Tiff. Um, yeah, I believe that's what they're going to do. Um, and it's going to be a battle. I'm going to tell you that much. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be something that it's going to be a cat fight anyway. I
You're
think.
freezing up, Dub.
I know you're breaking up kind of too there. Um, my
Hey,
I got
Adrian,
good
welcome in.
Wi-Fi.
El Wolf, welcome in, everybody.
Yeah, my
Go ahead.
Wi-Fi is good and all that. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, I checked mine. It was on.
Yeah. Everything's good here though, as far as I know. But yeah, I see Tiffy going over on that one.
See, I mean, they could do that just because they want to try to make the fans happy or whatever. But man, I just think it's a waste for Charlotte winning if she doesn't win the title.
Yeah.
So
Chris
I think you just wasted giving the Rumble to her.
Chris said both of us are freezing up.
Oh hell, probably my damn internet. Let me check.
Yeah, I'm good over here with my Wi-Fi. I got full. Yeah.
All right. All right. So you got Tiffy, I got Charlotte. I think we both agreed on Seth, unfortunately. Uh let's get to another title match. We're going LA Knight. Yeah. Versus Jacob Fatu. Who
I
you got?
feel, I feel sorry for LA Knight.
Yeah.
Because I think they want to make Jacob this monstrous guy. You know what I'm saying? Like this big heel that the next Umaga,
Yeah.
perhaps.
And I hope they doing better than Umaga. They dropped the ball with Umaga.
Yes, yes, they did.
So
Sad to
we'll
say.
see.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see. But yeah,
Got it? I mean, man, that dude is good, man. He can talk, he can work, and you believe that he's a badass. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
Unlike John Moxley, where he wants you to think he is, nobody thinks that.
Well,
We
that boy,
actually believe in Jacob Fatu.
yeah, and he's actually that boy there done some prison time and everything. I think. So
Well, I
Jacob's
knew
been
he had been to jail. I don't know if he actually did prison time, but he,
maybe
he might have.
he been to jail a time or two for a few months. I think. You know what I'm saying? Enough to make him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Adrian, that's what I was about to say. I think the only reason I see Jacob not winning is if Solo or somebody gets involved with it. Either that or he just gets mad and goes off and ends up getting disqualified or something, and they leave it on LA Knight. But they've pretty much, even though he has the belt, they've pretty much almost done the same thing with LA Knight like they did with Austin Theory. He's kind of just been pushed to the back. Austin Theory ain't even on this WrestleMania card, bro.
No.
Which I
Uh,
don't know. I think there was a couple people I could take off to find him a spot. But anyway, uh, that's another story for another day. But so you got Fatu winning.
Fatu winning, and unless like he's saying there, man, unless Solo comes out or someone comes out and costs him the match, what I can see it that way too. What's up, lights?
What's
Um,
going on, running lights?
yeah, I can
Chris, how you doing?
both ways, bro. Both ways, really. You know what I'm saying?
But I think it could be. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a great match because I see Fatu controlling most of it. I'm sure LA Knight will get his few little hot spots in there, but I think you're gonna see Fatu pretty much dominate.
Adrian asked a question there. I'm gonna say I kind of surprised me that you didn't put the Intercontinental title up for grabs, or Chelsea Green. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's where I was going. Chelsea Green with the United States. She's got the United States, right?
I think so. Yeah, yeah,
And the other chick, she's not even defending her title. She's fighting for the tag titles. It makes no sense. I mean,
right.
there's some other people that were left over here that doesn't make sense, and some shouldn't be on here. But that main one is the people with the titles for sure. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. That's why I asked: is this year's lackluster card to you? Is if you take out Cody versus Cena, what else is there really that anybody's just crying to see? I mean, I know there's a lot of Yeet fans out there that want to see Jey Uso, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But maybe the Rhea Ripley, but they screwed that up too by making it a three-way. I
Yeah,
think everybody would have been more enthralled to watch if it was just Rhea versus Bianca. I know I would be,
yes,
but
yeah.
I know I'm missing some people, and I'm sure there's some other people that should have been on here that I'm just not thinking of right now.
Chad
And
Gable and let's see, is it Chad Gable and Rey Mysterio, Logan
yeah,
Paul.
Adrian, you're getting a little ahead of me, but when I get to that match, I got a little side note over here. It says best match of the night: Logan Paul versus AJ Styles. Already wrote it down. See, I'm not the only one thinks like that. All right, so let's get back to it. All right, we thank Jacob Fatu unless some interference or he just gets disqualified. But is it before we jump off? Is it too early to put him with a belt on him?
If you ask me, no.
Okay.
I think that he's been in the business and he's credible enough, long enough, and he's held other championships in other promotions, indie promotions, but other promotions as well.
Right.
Um, and held them pretty good. You know what I'm saying? And he's just that guy. He's that believable. You know.
Yeah, and I mean I love his promos, man. I just love everything he does. So I'm all for it. All right, next up we got Jade Cargill versus Naomi.
Man, Jade's going over that for sure.
Yeah, this should be a squash match. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm sure they'll maybe let Naomi get a little bit or cheat something here and there, but it shouldn't be no longer like a 3-4 minute
yeah.
match, even if that.
Unless somebody throws a curveball and cheats or something happens, I don't see Naomi going over there.
Well, and there's no reason for Naomi to go over.
Mm,
I mean, Jay's the new star. Naomi's been there too long. I'm not saying she's not credible. She's good, but it's not her time or place to be in that spot.
yeah, if she wasn't credible, she wouldn't be putting her over.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. I mean, she kind of gets thrown into that spot like Natalia,
right.
where they're always there to make everybody else look good,
Yeah,
you know?
and they're working. You got to think too. They're building this women's division. You know, it's not as stacked as it used to be with that women's division. You know what I'm saying? They still got a lot of good, players, key players, but it's not star stacked like it used to be.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like Becky Lynch's and you know
Sasha Banks,
Sasha Banks.
Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, just everybody you could turn to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
They got a lot of people that are still green and they got to build up to that point.
yes,
Which they've done a good job with Liv Morgan. I mean, to me, even though I think she's still better in the ring than Jay Uso, but she's kind of got that Jay Uso effect. People like her, so she got over. You
yeah,
know,
and she started. Didn't she start like Liv Livator Wyatt? Wasn't that her name? Something Wyatt.
Well, she was Liv Morgan when she was with the Riot Squad
Yeah,
when they
yeah.
first came out. That's
I
the only place I'd known her from.
Oh, okay. Well, see, I watch. I kind of that's something I kind of watch too. I watch like the evolution of WWE stars, and that's kind of how I see where they were at different times in their life. You know what I'm saying? That's why I watch all those highlights and do all that stuff, man. And I watch a lot of interviews. You know, Chris Van Fleet, a few other guys. You know what I mean? That's they're good, credible guys, and they interview a lot of these guys. And who else better to hear it from than the wrestler themselves?
Right. So yeah, man, I think this should be pretty much just a squash match, and let's get it on. Um, Next up, tag team titles: War Raiders, Viking Era, whatever they are. Eric and Ivar versus the Bad Day, or the New Day, or the New Bad Day, or whatever.
You know, I want to say that the New Day is going to go over, but you just can't put the Viking Raiders out. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah, I think the Bad Day is going over.
yeah, because of the and here's why I think this too, and we're getting ready to talk about the other subject too, and we'll add him into the middle of all of it was Karrion Cross. I think Karrion Cross, he's playing a good character right now. You know what I mean? People might not think, you know what I'm saying, that he's done a lot since he's been back, you know what I mean? But he's actually done a lot more than what people think. And I think he's getting ready to get a good push. A good
Well,
push.
I hope he cuts his hair. But he was way more meaner when he looked like me. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
The
he did.
hair the
Hey,
hair just doesn't give him the edge to me, bruh.
yeah, yeah, he did look a little meaner. I'll say that. But
But Adrian, I'm not surprised because I barely knew who they were because they keep switching the titles so much here lately.
and
They
that
went from the Motor City Machine Guns to the Private Profits and
yeah.
all
And,
all these other people.
and that's what I don't understand.
Pretty dreadful.
Why do you build up your like your DIY and your machine gun and the
Mhm.
street profits, all that? Why do you build them matches up like you built them up and put all that effort and time and video in and all that stuff into production, and then you're not going to put them on the main card?
Yeah. I mean that besides the women's tag title, I think that's the only tag match on here.
Yep, yep, you're
I
right.
mean, we not that I would really want to see it, but we couldn't have got a Street Profits versus DIY, or you know, maybe the Creed brothers and somebody, like a filler match or something to start it off or something,
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know. They've never WWE, except in the late '80s, never really treated the tag teams with full respect.
I see that.
I mean, I and I don't know. I don't want to say this because I'm not knocking some of the newer guys, but
The
they didn't
older,
treat the Hart Foundation. They didn't treat the Bulldogs. They didn't treat Demolition like that. But then once you got up like Attitude Era, like the belts were just going on people and coming off, and
right?
Ruthless Aggression the same way.
Stone Cold Undertaker, Kane X Pac.
Yeah,
You
and
just had the, and that's what. I know I'm not saying that brought any type of bad anything toward them. You know what I mean? All those guys were good guys. You know what I mean? Great workers. But we're talking about titles. These things should be on your pristine guys, your pristine players. Not just tossing them around. You know what I mean?
yeah, I was never a fan of that. I mean, besides Kane and Undertaker, because they were brothers, I get that. But Stone Cold, Triple H, The Rock, Mankind, the Rock and Sock Connection, I just never really cared for putting tag teams like that together. I liked it when they came up together. The Rockers, Edge and Christian, the Dudley Boys, you know,
Yeah.
Road Dogg and Billy Gunn,
LOD.
stuff like that. Huh?
LOD.
LOD. Yeah, I mean, it just, I don't know. It just, some people were meant to be tags and some weren't, but they
Right.
just never gave them the proper respect. But so we both got the New Day winning, I guess,
Yeah.
or
Yep.
Bad Day, whatever they are. All
Yeah.
right, next up is El Grande Americano versus Rey Mysterio.
I wish they would
Junior,
get
Junior,
it
Junior.
over with. Just get it over with. I mean, everybody. I mean, and I think that's a lot of the comedic point behind it. You know what I'm saying? Is we all know who he is. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows. You know that big tattoo on your back of your neck. You know what I'm saying? Um, but that's the thing, though. You know what I mean? It's cool to do stuff like that, man. But don't shove it down people's throat every 10 years or every 15 years. You know what I'm saying? It
So,
just brings me back like shades of Mr. America with Hulk Hogan and
right.
stuff like that. Like come up with some fresh material.
So
That
so who you got? Who you got going over? You got Ray.
I, I'm wanting to say Ray. I want to say Ray, but I think Grande is going to go over. I just don't.
Okay, I think Ray because I mean, why else put him on the WrestleMania? This could be his last one. Let
Is it
him
his
go
last
out with a
one?
win, huh?
Is this his last one?
It sh-
You never know about that little guy.
it should have been like three, but put him over. But here's what I would have done if we were doing something with this El Grande thing, right? If you want to put comedic stuff in there, this is how I would have booked this match. I would have not brought in Ray Phoenix yet. And I would have had Ray Phoenix fight this match against Rey Mysterio under the mask and let him win, but he still takes the mask off, and then it's Ray Phoenix in his mask. That'd be a hell of a way to have
Yeah,
brought in Ray Phoenix
yeah,
than how they did
yeah. You're 100% there.
it. See, I need to be on the booking committee, I'm telling you.
Yeah, that would have been real cool. Oh, I think though. I think the reason they did that, and he had a beautiful match. He had a better match than Penta had,
Yeah, he did.
if you asked me, because he was nailing all his stuff. You know what I mean? And Penta missed a few steps, but that's because I called that night. They paired him up with Chad, and Chad wasn't ready for that yet. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong; he's a good worker, but he wasn't ready and fast pace. And that's why I think. But yeah, man, it would have been a really really nice match, and
I
I
mean,
think
you would have got the crowd, man. The crowd would have been off their feet. I mean, they would have probably figured it out after the first little couple move set, but you could have had him come in and work like Gable for a minute, like a minute or two, and then go into his style, and him and Ray could have had a great match.
right, and with Ray
And
with
then you put Phoenix over, and then, but he still goes, well, I'll still take it off for you. He takes it off, and it's Phoenix, you know? But
yeah,
I don't know. They dropped the ball on that one. Could have been better. But
yeah, because
anyway.
they teased two luchadors coming, and then we got the whole El Grande thing too in the middle of all that, and it's like, what, what? Why didn't y'all use this opportunity? And I think we're going to see an opportunity tomorrow for Rusev. So
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We're getting there.
yeah,
All right. So you taking Americana? I got Ray.
yep,
World title Gunther versus the Yeet Man. We yeeting all over the place. We're gonna catch a yeet infection. Yeet. Four
yeah.
letters. One word. Ooh. Yeet.
I think he goes over.
I do too. I do too. But here's the thing. I agree. He goes over. But does he sell his soul to The Rock?
Yeah. Uh, he's not one to shy away from a turn.
I
So
mean, it made sense. A dude put all this together. I seen the clip, and it went all the way back to where it said The Rock came out and said, "I'm 20 steps ahead of everybody." Right?
Yeah.
He was number 20 in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who did he beat at the Royal?
Cena. Yeah.
John Cena. When John Cena was hanging off the ropes, didn't it look like he just stepped down
Yeah, like he got like, and then he was like, when he landed on the,
and then just dropped,
yeah,
right?
yeah, kind of.
See, it's all coming together, man. It's Rock, it's Seth, it's Jey Uso, and it's Cena with Paul Heyman.
Yeah, man. It could happen. That could
The
happen.
new dangerous alliance.
And then with all that, you don't have to have Rock there all the time, like you said. And yeah, but that's the thing too, though. Who are you going to put up against these guys, and how? You know what I mean? Like, how would you book that? You know what I mean?
Nah, that's the easy part. You still got Roman. You got Punk,
Cody.
Cody.
Yeah.
You can put Randy in there if you need to, or you can put Jimmy, Big Jim. Don't forget Big Jim.
Yeah. Because I think Randy said he was going to sign another 5-year deal after this one.
Golly. Hey,
So,
get that money, man. Get that money. Get
yeah,
that money while you
well,
can.
he's jacked, man. Look at the man. You know what I'm saying? He's the Viper.
I want to know what these guys are doing in their time off because him and AJ Styles, good Lord, man.
Yeah.
They both came back as a whole different character.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so we both got Jay Uso. Do you think he's turning or no?
Um. I I don't think so. I don't.
Okay. I mean, maybe not. I mean, he does have a lot going. People are behind
Yeah.
him, but here's the thing, and I say this, and people get all over me about the Jey Uso thing. He's not a great worker. He's better at a tag team. He's really not that great on the mic when he ain't feeding off his brother.
Right.
Now, when they're there together, feeding off each other, they're really good.
Yeah.
But it's like goes back to like a Daniel Bryan or a Kofi Kingston. They can get up there, they can win the crowd, they can get that moment, but they can't sustain it. It's like I say with
Yeah.
Seth Rollins, you can get to the top, but you can't stay on top because you not the guy. You
Yeah.
don't have it. You have some of it, but you don't have it. You don't have the it factor long enough to sustain people for a long amount of time.
Yeah. Now, if like I see him going over, and like you said, I believe I could see him turning heel, but not with, you know what I mean?
But
Not
see,
with.
I'm saying he sold his soul to the Rock because somehow the Rock helped him win.
Yeah, but I could see him though just turning heel eventually though, because they're going. WWE, they're going to use that baby face as far as they can use it. You know what I mean? Shine that baby up. You know, um, they going to yeet as long as they can yeet.
Yeah, but that's what I always say though. You can shine up a turd all you want, but guess what?
It's going to be
It's
brown.
still a turd. It's
Yeah,
still a turd. You know what I mean? But anyway. All
yeah.
right, we got the Yeet Man going over. All right, let's get to one of the coup de grace. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. Who you got?
This is so hard, man. I want to say Cody so bad, so bad.
Well, say it. Don't be scared. Say it.
But
Say it with your chest.
I'm trying to say what my head's telling me to say, but what my gut is telling me that they're going to do, put it on Cena. And the only reason I say that, not only to further value Cena, which he's already valued already, um, I think they want to change that record. You know,
Yeah. Well, here's my thing. Not necessarily that. I just think if you don't put it on Cena, then what was the heel turn even for?
right? right. And what's got me thrown off though is, he has booked a couple matches after Mania and all that too. So that's what's got me a little thrown off too. So you can't really say, but I, I just don't know, man. To be honest, that is a big confusing one for me. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I know a lot of people don't think they're gonna put it on John because they think John's leaving. What if John doesn't leave either?
Yeah, I've seen that. We've seen that before too.
I mean, what if he doesn't go?
Yeah,
Hell,
we've
if Randy's signing
yeah,
another contract, I mean, maybe Cena is too.
yeah, like ha, you thought kayfabe was dead.
I mean,
We fooled
I
you.
can see it. I can
Yeah,
see it.
one hundred
But
percent.
yeah, I think Cena wins. I think he gets the 17 world titles, which I kind of hate to see that myself for other reasons because of my man Ric Flair. But other than that, yeah,
Gotta represent.
Rhea Ripley dating Jay Uso. What? No.
Jay Buddy Murphy.
Isn't Rhea with Buddy Murphy?
Yeah, that's Buddy Murphy's old lady, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So well, are you taking Cena or are you taking Cody?
I'm gonna take Cena.
Okay, me too. All right. Now we're down to the three-way, which, you know, might be the first time in history you say I wasn't ready for a women's three-way, but
All right.
uh Io Sky versus Rhea Bloody Ripley versus Bianca Belair, which my sentiments, I don't think this should have ever been a three-way. But I think they're trying to spin this into part of the story, and they're going to turn Bianca heel, and Bianca wins anyway. But I would have much rather seen Bianca and Rhea 1-on-1. But
Yeah, I can see. I can see Rhea winning. I can see uh Bianca winning, and I can even see Io Sky winning. You know what I'm saying? Because they're wanting to make her seem like this, little cute little Chinese little I won't fight for nothing, and then all of a sudden you push me and then I'm mad. You know what I'm saying? Or you put me in a corner and I'm mad. You know what I mean? I can. That's why I can see that.
you know, the whole thing with Ia being in there, and I'll probably get some slack for this too. But just because we let you sit at the grown folk table, don't mean you're grown.
100.
I'm just saying. I mean,
But
not
I'm
not taking anything away from her. She is talented. I think she could deserve a title. I don't think the world title, at least not with who you're taking it from, unless you want it some different way. But if you wanted to put the Intercontinental or the United States title, I would have been fine with that.
I agree. I agree. Rhea. I say Rhea. I'm thinking Rhea. Best manager
Yeah,
ever.
I don't know. I don't know. Bianca is really strong. I don't think in real life Rhea is actually stronger than Bianca, bro.
Yeah, that man. They're both big.
Bianca is a beast.
Yeah, they are, man.
I mean, I know Rhea may look more bigger, but man, Bianca's cut.
Yeah,
Bianca is a lean, mean fighting machine, boy.
yeah. And I can see the future getting set up for Bianca Jade.
Yeah, and that's where I think this is going. They make turn heel, and then they come out and say, have Bianca cut a promo saying, you know, this was my plan all along to get the belt off of Rhea. That's
Yeah,
why I helped Dio Sky, blah, 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 whatever. That's why I had Naomi attack Jade. And then here comes Jade, then the feud with Jade, and then Jade ends up beating Bianca to get the title. But I also think they're wanting to make Bianca Belair like Miss WrestleMania because she hasn't lost at WrestleMania yet.
Well, here's the thing that I don't understand about this whole Mr. WrestleMania and Miss WrestleMania stuff. You know, they call Shawn Michaels Mr. WrestleMania, right?
Hmm.
Compare his WrestleMania record to Taker's record.
Well, he's the one that labeled himself that. He
Right.
gave that to himself.
Who's the true who's the true Mr. WrestleMania though? You know what I mean? It's that man.
But I mean, yeah, okay. Undertaker had the record, but a lot of Undertaker matches until the end of his career, coming up to get into that streak, those weren't good matches.
Yeah, there was a
You
few.
know, he's fighting Undertaker versus Undertaker, Undertaker versus Giant Gonzalez, and
And he'll tell you
you
some of
know,
the
I
matches.
mean, good lord, the matches were pretty terrible.
Yeah. And he'll tell you some of the matches he had later on, with like Goldberg and Brock, you know what I'm saying? They had a few bad matches, you know what I mean? So you can tell too, and he ain't afraid to say it either. You know what I mean? He's not one to shy away from saying, "Oh, man, I put on a crappy match." You know,
So who you taking? You got to make a choice. You done said I could see all three winning. I mean, can't all three win?
I'm gonna go with Rhea though.
All right, I'm going Bianca. All right, let's move on to the next. Next, we went from a three-way to a four-way. I ain't excited about this one either. My man Braun Breaker versus Penta, Zero, Meta, all that other shit. Uh, versus Finn Balor versus Dom and Nick Mysterio.
I'm gonna say Penta, and the only reason I'm going to say that is because I think they're going to throw Braun into some brighter days. You know what I mean?
Got you.
Or push him towards some. You know what I mean? Something bigger.
Okay. I kind of I hate to agree, but I think you're right. I think they're gonna need a few things for the fans to get behind in these. So Penta being one of them, I think that'll be a good feel for the crowd. I think they'll enjoy that. Now I'm gonna take you somewhere, and then we'll get to the tag match. But this is how I would book this match, and I know some people might not like it. And I don't know if they could be able to get away with it, but if we could, and I hope he could be able to do it without killing this girl. But I would have Liv Morgan come down to interfere, right? And she gets in she's in the ring trying to help Dom or something. Braun goes to spear Dom. Dom moves out the way and he spears Liv Morgan. And then he's freaking out because he ran her over. Dom rolls him up in a small package, pulls the tights, wins the title. Then you go over to the other. She either can't compete or she tries her best and they end up losing the titles. And then Bailey and Laya Valkyrie win the titles. And then they feud against each other for the Intercontinental title. And then they put the tag team titles up in a tournament. That's how I would book that. But that's long term storytelling that AEW doesn't know about. But
Uh, but I think they're trying over there. I hear they got a new booker.
I hope. I hope we'll see. Who is this Booker? Booker
I,
T?
that's what I said. Did they grab a book out of the?
Oh man. Yeah, that we won't get into that. AEW is a subject for another day. We gave Zay the day off because he couldn't handle it. But all right, so we both got Penta. Let's go ahead since we already brought it up. Let's do the tag match. Laya, Valkyria, Valkyrie,
Yeah.
Valhalla, whatever her damn name is, uh, and Bailey versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez Gonzalez Fuentes Menendez, whatever her name is.
Um, I think they retain.
Yeah, and I think that's what it should be. Unless you were going how I wanted to book it earlier, I think they make a good fit,
Yeah,
and you can get a lot more life out of that than you could with Bailey and Valhalla or whatever her name is.
yeah. But yeah, I think that happens too because I don't. But I can
I can
see
see that,
few,
Adrian.
yeah, I can see a few things coming out of it. You know what I mean? Like that right there, her turning on her. You know what I'm saying? Just and we've all seen it happen before in many matches. Uh, like Stone Cold and Undertaker that time. When he laid down and Kane did the whole choke slam and he rose right up afterwards.
Right.
You get that stuff all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's and that's what I, I I wish that they could come up with some new stuff instead of some of this rinse and repeat. But
Yeah.
it's always been a lot like
Well, I mean, you have to do that because, to be honest, well, when everybody brings up the Attitude Era and how great it is, I say it was a double-edged sword. It was, but it wasn't. It
right,
was great, but they hot shotted everything. Now everything in wrestling has been done. There's
right,
nothing else left to do.
right. That's when they
You
called
know,
called matches in ring. Still, yet, you know what I mean? They did
that's
stuff.
that's why Ambrose is over there making pointed looking golf club spikes and stuff and putting in his back because they're trying to find something else to do.
I said,
The tax ain't over no more. We need nails this big.
yeah, and and that's why I said everybody's like, well, we like a little blood. We like a little blood. Well, that don't mean you're tough because you bleed, bro. You know, just
I
because you
ain't got time to bleed.
and poke your head real quick, right? You know,
And there's nothing wrong with a little blood when
right?
it makes sense and it matters. Like
Yes,
Stone Cold Bret Hart, where the blood was there, even though they weren't supposed to do it. Now that match is going into the Hall of Fame.
right, right. Too much of it.
But when you're doing it with Daniel Garcia and Orange Cassidy, nobody cares. We want to
Yeah,
see them both bleed to death. But
yeah. I mean, like you just said, for do it for a reason, not every pay-per-view you got people spewing blood all over the place.
exactly.
It's
Exactly.
you
All
know,
right. So well we hope Liv and Raquel Gonzalez Fuentes,
I-
whatever, retain the title. Couple more to get to. Oh, we had one more over here. We got the street fight. Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre.
man, I want to say McIntyre.
That's where I'm going.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not gonna spend too much time on this match. I really don't. Be
Drew,
honest. I think both guys are good, but I think they need both of them need a little more work. Uh,
right,
Damian Priest, to be honest, he just needs to believe in himself more.
yeah,
I think he know he's not like Seth Rollins. He doesn't like know he's a star and he's not. He wants to be that star. He just hasn't figured out how to carry it yet.
right, yeah. You
You
can
know
you
what I mean?
yeah, you can see that aura around him, like like he's lost sometimes.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
you can see it in his face. It's just like he's too nervous about doing the right or wrong thing. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
when they had him coming out, absolutely destroying his own teammates from the Judgment Day. That's the best work I'd seen from that man,
Yeah.
and I hope and pray that he comes out tomorrow night like that too, because it's just going to make me like him even more if he comes out and brawls with him.
Now, I mean, I think it'll still be a good match. I say I don't care about it. I don't really have any stake in it because it doesn't matter to me which one of them wins.
Yeah,
Like I said, I like both these guys. McIntyre is another one like Rollins. He has gotten so much better, especially when he was doing the stuff with Punk. So Punk brings the best out in everybody, whether good for bad. I mean, he can bring it out in them.
yeah, yeah.
But we'll
Maybe.
see. We'll see. Yeah, and I think so. I think actually, to be honest, I think Priest just needs to give in to his bad side and go straight heel.
Right.
You know, none of this tweener, none of this, oh, I want to be a fan favorite, the Archer of infamy or whatever. Just be a bad mofo and just man, just terrorize everybody, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it would get over better. But he has to believe it and want to do that though.
Yeah.
You
Especially
know?
have Kevin Owens as a heel. We're going to need another good heel.
Yeah. And Kevin Owens was doing some of his best work.
And who
And
knows?
I was a Kevin Owens fan when he first got in there, and then all the whining and crying stuff just got on my nerves. But
Here's the thing. Here's something about that too. I don't want to say, that he's hurt, and I don't want to call the man a liar, but we've been worked before there too. You know what I'm saying? With the whole Mark Henry thing, yeah, he was hurt. And then next thing you know, he come out and you know,
yeah, true. But I don't think that's the case here.
I don't think that either, man. I really don't. But you never know
I
though.
mean, if it is, they got me. It wouldn't be the first time they got me, but
That's what I said too. Because here's the only reason I'm thinking about that. I mean, you had this guy coming out pulling the dude out of the ring. You know what I mean, and landing in on him, and then next week he's having surgery, and he's what I'm saying. It's like, well, that come out of left field. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
I mean, we never know, but I don't think so. I think
Yeah.
he is really
So
hurt,
I
but
said
we'll
I don't
see.
talk about nobody's. You know what I'm saying? Anything that's happened with him, if he has a neck injury, I hope and I pray that he heals good. You know what I'm saying, and everything works out. You know, I do. I wish him the best.
Yes, sir. So who you got? You got Drew?
Yep.
Okay. I got Drew. All right. We already did the women's tag. We only got like two matches left. We got AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. And we brought this up a minute ago. I think it'll be the best match of the night. I can be proven wrong, but I don't think I will be. But I got Logan Paul going over, man. I mean,
I got Paul going over because I can see AJ doing heel turn too. You know.
yeah, well, and I can see because of the carrying cross stuff, and I could see him losing, and then it switches something in him, and he goes back to being um the Bullet Club AJ
Yeah.
and do something like that. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Everybody else got AJ. Okay.
So but I do think
I,
I think Paul goes over, man, and
I do too. I think Paul needs to push more than AJ does. I don't think the loss hurts AJ. And you can always make it a F finish. You know what I mean? I'm trying not to cuss too much, but you know
right,
what word I'm trying to use. But you
right,
could have him use the brass knucks or, a rigged prime bottle or something, whatever.
yeah,
The exploding prime bottle or whatever you want to do. But oh yeah, I know you got Logan Paul. Me and you agree on that. There's
yeah.
a lot of people that agree with me, but there's some people I still gotta, talk some sense into them. But most of them are AEW fans. But
They're good people.
imagine that. Um, all right, last match on the card is Randy Keith Orton versus TBD. RKO versus TBD.
Yeah,
To be decided. Now I've got a list over here, and I'm gonna run it off of who it could be. Solo Sokoa, really high possibility. Alistair Black, slim possibility. Rare chance, but could be something to get people's pop and could bring back the legend killer. Goldberg. Goldberg.
yeah. I don't think so. Not that one. Could
Brock Lesnar.
yeah.
Probably not.
Not him.
Uh Nick Aldis, could be, but I don't think anybody really wants to see that. And last but not least, probably the number one on my book besides Solo Sokoa is Rusev Day. So
That's who I'm kind of putting my uh mine on, because they were talking. He was already in talks with some, you know what I mean, and he was going to be in that area at the time, So to me, it's like something like the planets aligned for this him to do it. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
right.
I'm with you too with Solo. I could see that too, but then again, I don't see it. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
I mean, it's a way to get Solo on the card if they can't pull off any of the other ones. You know what I
it,
mean?
yeah, it is. But I see, like I said, I think Solo's going to come out and interfere with Fatu a little bit. So I don't know though. You know what I'm saying?
I I, I don't think it's gonna be Jeff Cobb. I think it's too early for something like that. But I know that's what you mean by what's the Rock's New Japan shirt.
Yeah.
Basically, that was all about them signing Jeff Cobb.
He was.
But I
Yeah.
don't. I just think it'd be way too quick to get something like that in. But hey, you never know. I
He
mean,
was trying to throw that excitement out there, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
oh, he's gonna be working with them, and you know what I mean? Did you?
yeah. It was a and got the Rubik's cube there. Like
Yeah,
he's got the puzzle, the mind working.
yeah.
Hey, it's
And
all about
that,
smoke and mirrors, man.
that's what The Rock does best, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, look at what he's made the world do by just sitting there and letting them take one photo.
yeah,
And one photo, and that's all it
yes,
took.
sir.
It put a buzz around the world.
Okay, a lot of people saying Aleister Black will show up on SmackDown after. Okay,
Yeah, yeah. That's
I can
what
see that. I can
they,
see that.
they got.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I really leaning toward Rusev, but I could actually. And here's another thing, and I know it's probably not going to be, but I hear everybody saying Brock Lesnar's never coming back. Never say never. For one, it's the WWE. Number two, everybody put out this fake thing that he said he retired from wrestling.
no,
No, he didn't. And they say, well, he's not even under contract. Yes, technically, he's still under contract. His contract was just on pause through the investigation. So, just like when somebody's hurt, your contract is put on pause.
right.
So, until that contract is no longer there, there's always a chance.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I think, and the only reason though they're not going to do it is because it's too early. You know what I'm saying? And it wouldn't be smart. But you never know, though. You never know,
yeah.
because
I mean,
sometimes.
it would be a lot of backlash probably, but you know, hey, they put a Hogan out there to get booed on Netflix. So I mean, what the hell?
Yeah,
Uh oh, bueno.
yeah. She's got that though. If not, somebody else will get
so
it.
so so who's your number one?
um, man, Rusev.
Okay. Yeah, same with me. And I like that. Yeah, I was hoping we would have got Brock and Gunther at Mania, but with all that stupid Vince McMahon stuff, whatever,
The only
it is
reason
what it is.
Rusev and not Malachi Black is because they already said that they were going to bring Malachi back the week after WrestleMania.
Okay. Yeah, Adrian, Brock Lesnar and Braun Breaker. Oh man, I'd love to see that. And a great way to put Breaker over. Nothing better than that right there. All right, so that's the full rundown of the card. Is there anything else you want to add about the card? Do you think it's lackluster to you? Do you think it could have been done betterly? I mean, hindsight's 2020. We'll talk about it afterward. We'll come back the week after and talk about if it was
I,
good or not. But just your thoughts overall.
I think the build could have been better.
Okay.
If the build would have been better, because I think the stars are the stars no matter what. You know,
Right.
stars are stars no matter what. They're going to go out there and do what they do. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's the build up to it. It's the storytelling. You know what I mean? That's why we watch it. We don't just watch it because they go out there and all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
You got to get people interested. You got to get that fan reaction, and you got to get that fan interaction.
Now,
That's how
I got two thoughts on it. One, I think it's too long from Elimination Chamber to now. I think that's some of it right there.
yeah,
Like you had too long to try to keep this building up. I mean, we had the three-way match. They done put their hands on each other, what, 3 or 4 times already? You're kind of spoiling some of the match by doing that. And then the other side of it, John Cena and Randy Orton, they barely even touched each other. No rock whatsoever at any point.
yeah,
I mean, come on, man. It just a little bit of that. He could have appeared and just did a backstage segment. Caught him talking to somebody or something. Something could have added to it. But yeah, that I think that's two of the things. The build, and it had too long of a stretch for us to get there.
art of failure.
What happened?
I don't know. Amy said, hey, is there a match for WrestleMania that you can show me an art of failure and you can send it to me?
What the heck? I don't know what
Oh,
that
art
means.
of failure. I guess that
Can you
means,
send Bray Wyatt to me? No, I cannot, but I can show you Bray Wyatt. You're not a hero, John.
yeah, not a hero, John. Yeah,
But
man.
yeah, I mean, I think it was a lot of determining factors, but we'll see how it goes. I think there could have been a few more people on the card and some taken off. You know, maybe Alistair Black, maybe Rusev, some of these coming back. We could have at least got them like a filler match on here or something would have been kind of good, but
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. Maybe you could have got tell me who wouldn't want to see this. Like a Ray Phoenix versus a Dragon Lee or something like that to start out one of the nights.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be a pretty good little match, you know.
Give them something. You
Well,
just brought these people in here, and which I know Phoenix just got there because Tony Khan wanted to procrastinate and be a well, whatever. We already know my feelings on the great one. Uh, but anyway, I think that's about all we got. We'll wrap up the WrestleMania talk, but I do want to talk a
yeah,
few other things before we run out. I didn't know we were going to go a full hour long with this, but I can get a little long winded. Dub, I told you not to talk so much. Um,
I love it. I love it.
but let's talk a little bit about this. Is the action figure part, so some people may jump out on this. Maybe you're not into the action figures, but we had a whole lot of releases talked about. Now, granted, I'm gonna say, which I already knew this, I wasn't as excited as everybody else because I knew it wasn't going to be as exciting as we thought it was going to be. I think at San Diego Comic Con we see more because they haven't had enough time to really get the new Legends deal guys in there yet.
Right.
So you weren't seeing Jesse Ventura, Coco Beware, Junkyard Dog, Tito Santana, Demolition, yada yada yada. All these new guys that just signed back. So I think a lot of people were expecting that, but it was kind of wrong to be thinking that because they hadn't had time to even get renders done. But
Right.
let's get into some of what they talked about if I can read my own writing over here. Now, I got to bring this up first because this thing looks amazing and I had heard about it, but I did see the pictures. The Ultimate Edition, Cody Rhodes and Brandy from the WrestleMania with the big old skull mask, his neck tattoo on his face. Looks freaking amazing. I'm probably getting two of those. I don't care what the price is.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of those. Some of those I've already got pre-ordered. So, yeah, like the bloodline set. not the old, not the new bloodline, the old, or the new bloodline, not the old bloodline. You know what I mean? Tomatonga, Solo, Jacob, those, and Nia Jax. That set.
Right,
Uh,
but those had already been showed. I'm talking about what was just showed today.
you watched the same one I did, WHF.
Uh-uh.
Okay, because yeah, she showed those on there at WrestleMania 41 action figure reveals.
Oh, well, they might have showed those, but those had already been released. That's why they're already up for pre-order and stuff.
Okay, yeah, they
But
showed
they still bring those and show. I mean, they still
right,
showed the old Mudas and stuff that already come out. But I'm
right,
talking just like the new stuff that's not even up for pre-order yet.
yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Now they did show like the Red Rooster.
Yeah.
Uh, let's see, the
Brutus
Ultimate.
Beefcake,
Yeah, Bruce Beefcake. Ultimate.
Ultimate Warrior.
Um, I seen a Jacob Fatu. Um, Braun Breaker. I seen Braun Breaker.
And that's a good looking one, but
Did you think so? I didn't really like that screaming head sculpt. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't mind it. I like the outfit more than the screaming head sculpt though.
Right. Yeah, me too.
But
Now
the
that
Terry
line,
Funk and that Muda, man, that Terry
yeah,
Funk, the chase and the blue,
yeah.
woo, that thing
And
was
then
awesome.
the new Monday Night Wars wave, not the Gorilla Monsoon one that's came out already. I'm talking about the one with Pillman, and Shark. They did the
Yes. And
and
actually, I think they showed two of Monday Night Wars ones.
yes, he's Shark in one, and then he's got his head half shaved whenever
Well, no, yeah, that's the chase, but I'm saying they showed two different waves of Monday Night Wars.
I think they did, yeah. One
Yeah.
of
But the
them had
one of them was more just renders. It wasn't even really finished yet.
right, and I seen a Billy Gunn.
Yeah. Now, the Billy Gunn, I love it. But if we can't get Bart, why are we getting one smoking gun?
Yeah, yeah,
You know, I mean, I guess you could get two Billies and make a Bart out of it, but you know.
yeah.
But I do like to see some of the new NXT figures that are coming out. The Wendy Chu looks great.
Yes, I
And it's
like.
got a chase. Man, the chase is even better than the regular.
Mhm.
The Obafemi looks
Yes,
good.
Roman Reigns.
They did show some retro figures, which I'd already kind of seen these. I don't know if everybody else had, but Virgil, Harley Race, Bobby Heenan, and the Ultimate Warrior. Uh, did you see the Hall of Champions 4 pack?
Yes, I seen the Hall of Champions 4 pack.
Were you surprised that Hogan wasn't in it?
No, not really. I mean, I'm never surprised about that. You know what I'm saying? But and there's the thing about Hogan, like I was telling him, for everybody that boo him and say all this stuff, it's amazing that you can go online and his figures, his signed figures, are going for more than Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, all these guys. You know what I'm saying? Why can I get Cody Rhodes figure for $50 or $150, and I can't find a Hulk Hogan for no less than 250? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That's what all these people do, that stuff. So
Okay, what is the comment? Somebody's hollering at me to comment. Imagine Braun Breaker versus I don't know who White Kaiser is, but
she's talking about Kaiser. Oh,
Kaiser Wilhelm,
that
whatever his name is.
yeah,
I don't think Kaiser's really anything to me. I mean, he's a decent worker, but
yeah, he would destroy him.
yeah. But I guess I wasn't shocked that Hogan wasn't in there, and I know he was in the last pack, so it kind of makes sense to switch it up. Because the last one we got Hogan, what, Stone Cold, Becky, and Rocky
Yeah,
Maivia.
yep. I just opened
Okay,
that.
so
Uh,
now we got Bruno, San Martino, Ultimate Warrior, John Cena, and Roman Reigns, which is not bad.
yeah, yeah, it wasn't bad. I liked it. I liked it. I was like, I'll take two, please, right now. Yeah,
I like the new Bruno. I think this head sculpt looks better. and it has the old belt, the
Yes,
old WWF belt.
yes.
Man, that
And
is
Bruno,
freaking
did
awesome.
he not look a lot better in that one instead of that blue old whatever?
Yeah.
I like that figure. You know,
So
the
I don't think that any of those didn't fit in that set. Like I thought Becky Lynch didn't fit in the first one. So
right.
we're getting a JD McDonough Judgment Day one in the purple gear with the mask.
Okay.
Looks pretty good. We're getting a 1-2-3 kid, which is a new color and new mold. Looks pretty good.
Yeah. I heard a lot.
Uh, in the superstars line, we're getting George the Animal Steel, which looks great. Nikolai Volkov, it looked kind of plain, but I think maybe they're not done with what they're going to put on the shirt or something. The Stone Cold looks good except for the face.
Well, I don't think. See, that's what I was saying. The one that I watched that showed like prototypes, like they wasn't done with the whole face. You
Oh,
know,
this one was done.
that one was done.
Yeah, it had the jean shorts, the braces on the
The
knee.
screaming face, where he was doing the screaming face
No, this is Stone Cold. He didn't have a screaming face.
for when Brett put him in the sharpshooter. Wasn't that what the one they did?
This was on the Superstars line.
I must have looked at a different one on there then.
Yeah, because he was just like this in that one.
Glanced over that video with everybody too. You know what I'm saying? So
Gotcha.
all in
Yeah,
live.
I just watched it right before we went on here. Well, when you
Yeah.
came in to get on here, I was still finishing up. Uh, the defining moments, Kurt Angle, Austin, Paul Heyman. I think those are all good. I don't really think Logan Paul winning the U.S. title really needed to be in that defining moment since we've already got 2 or 3 Logan Pauls already, to be honest. We're
Right.
getting a new Tiffany Stratton in the blue, which looks really good.
Yeah.
We're getting all ego Ethan Page.
Yeah. Two. I seen two of those.
Yes. We're getting Alba Fire and Lola Vice. And we are getting the Wyatt Six. I'm
I
not a big fan of the Wyatt Six, but I am of these figures.
yeah.
They look very toyetic, so I can't wait to see these.
I passed on the Rambling Rabbit signed mask the other day. Yeah.
Oh man, how much
99
was that? Ah, that wasn't
back
bad. You
off.
should have probably
I
got
should
that.
have got it. Yeah.
Yeah. But there were some more, but this is all I put down. Also, in the superstars line, there was the Steiner brothers, the Ultimate Warrior, Hurricane Helms, which kind of doesn't really fit to me in the superstars line because he's like ruthless aggression. But
Yeah.
then they did RVD as well,
Okay.
uh, and an Iron Sheik.
Yeah. And we're talking about the guys.
Yeah, yeah, the ones that look like the Masters of the Universe type almost.
Did you see the Dusty and the Cody?
Yes,
Okay.
I didn't buy it though. I could have bought it a few weeks ago, but I didn't get it.
Man, I'm just. I'll probably end up getting it.
Because it's $50.
I know. I know. But uh,
I
you think about
just tell you that price point for those is just too much for me,
you
man.
know, and then here's the thing: if you think about it, man, like that though, you can't get them after they're Mattel Creations. Then you got to get on eBay if you want to try to get it, and then
Yeah, I know it.
more, you know. So, but you might get lucky, just like the Shawn Michaels. It was a Mattel Creations, and it's showing up at Ross's.
Yeah, that doesn't make no sense.
Like what? I mean,
I don't know.
and then you
May-
said,
Maybe that's where that Supergirl truck that they stole the other day is gonna show up.
yeah, and you said something last night about a John Cena that was supposed to go today, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I haven't seen anything.
I haven't either.
I've been looking like 8 times today. I've looked for this thing. Even
Oh,
Fig Heel said he was gonna give us the link to it. Haven't
yep,
seen anything.
yep. So
So, and then the other one, they're saying that it's going to be in the WrestleMania Superstore, the WWE Superstore, but not until the 21st. But then they said it might be Walmart.com. I don't know. So I don't know when to get these Cena figures. And then they said they showed 3 more Cenas on there,
yeah,
not counting the one that's in the 4 pack. I'm like,
yeah,
but
Yeah,
This is supposed to be Cena's last year, so you're
yeah.
gonna get a crap ton of Cena's.
And and that's the other thing too. Did you see the Las Vegas toy exclusive one? You can
Which
only
one was that?
get it at that event. You can only get it at WrestleMania 41. That
No,
figure.
which one?
It's
The one in the red package?
I think it might have been, yeah, the red package.
No, 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 no. That's the one that's gonna come up on the stores. You just won't be able to get it till afterward.
Mattel Creations.
No, it'll be on the wrestling store and probably Walmart.com on the 21st.
Because the way I understood it, the way he talked, in this, you wasn't going to be able to get it until right here it is. If it'll come up now. Fast forward it too fast. But yeah, I see Superstar, Stone Cold, Muda, uh, George Animal still. Then I see up there the other Monday Night Wars, Papa Pump.
You'll have a couple
Okay.
of different versions. And this one's part of the Amazon exclusive right there.
All right, go back. There's an Amazon exclusive. That's the 33, the number 33, where he's holding up the hands like that.
Yeah.
That's the
That's the
Amazon.
one that's supposed to have been out today.
Right. Yeah.
Now this one, you can easily do that. We get like an Undertaker, right? You know, like a little jacket ski. But if you want the original, they got the original. And then this one's exclusive to Vegas. So if you're here,
exclusive to Vegas,
you'll actually be able to get this one like with the shirt, because the original one just comes with the red shirt. So you'll have a couple of different versions. And then this one's part of the Amazon exclusive right there.
Okay. So the one you can only get there with a black shirt.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah, they do that a lot of times, even in like cons and different stuff. They make something specific for that event that you can only get there, or if you get it off somebody on eBay. But
right.
the same figure usually comes out just in a different attire or something like that. So yeah, okay, I got you now. I was like, man, you throwing me off. What is this?
But yeah.
But man, good show, Dub. I don't really have nothing else. We went about 20 minutes longer than I thought we would, but hey, it was still fun. It was good and all that.
I
So
think we should start a podcast, brother.
we should. As long as we get enough people to listen.
Hey, I enjoy it, man. Anytime, like I said, anytime you need a co-anchor, holler at me, brother.
All right, man. I appreciate it, Dub. You got anything else to say? Go ahead and say it and I'll close this out.
Just good night to everybody, and appreciate everybody coming in.
All right, guys. Thank y'all for joining us. Thank my man D Dub for coming in on short notice, coming in hot. And that's all we got today on Beef Tips and Topics. And until then, I may be leaving, but I'm still that uncultured heathen.